Hello, I'm Seth, editor-in-chief of Forbidden Origins Comics, and the Mass Effect 2 Suicide Mission is fucking great, and if you don't like it, you just suck at the game. How's that for spicy? Does the algorithm like that shit? We'll see. All kidding aside, the end of Mass Effect 2 has a lot of controversy surrounding it. You are presented with a series of checks that you have to pass in order to ensure that your entire crew and party are safe. And personally, I didn't think it was that hard, but a lot of people seem to have a lot of fucking problems with it. So let's back up. What exactly is the suicide mission? So in Mass Effect 2, you are in command of the Normandy and its crew. Near the very end of the game, while you are out doing another mission, your ship is docked in its port or just floating around in space. I can't remember exactly which one. But then you take control of the Seth Green character, Joker, and which is very interesting because Mass Effect does not usually let you play as other people. But in this case, you play as a Joker as the villains of the game, the Reapers, come in and they kidnap 90% of your crew. He is a lone survivor. And after that, you have the decision to immediately go save them. Now, this is where the suicide mission starts. You can do other missions in between saving your crew and not. But if you do, members of your crew will die. There's like actually a timer that starts once that mission happens. Now, Mass Effect 2 is like the team building game. You are spending all of your time building up your party, building up your resources for like a final attack against the Reapers. Now, if you're like me, I was a completionist at the time. I've since stepped away from that since I got my 30s. But in my 20s, and especially in high school, I was a completionist. I had to see every bit of dialogue. I had to collect every collectible. I have platinumed this game at least 2 times. That's how much I've played it. And again, if you are like me, you would have spent a lot of time building up your party, talking to them all the time, doing their loyalty missions to like max out those characters and those relationships. That's what I did. And I'm frankly, why would you even play these games if that's not what you're into? I mention that because that comes into play later. Now, when you start the actual suicide mission, the game checks how many of the missions you did complete, especially the ones that were centered around your ship, like your ship's resources and your party members. So the mission starts with you entering the Reaper airspace and being under assault by the Reapers. Your ship needs to have like certain shields in order for it to survive. I think it needs certain guns too. It's been a while. But if you have all that stuff, if you played the game, you'll have it. And then after you land, you're presented with another choice to get through some vents in order to deactivate some shields or something. And then you're given that choice. And if you choose the wrong one, that person dies. Why would you not pick the thieves or the tech people? Like, what are you talking about? Why are you sending Garrus in there? Of course, what the fuck are you doing? If you have the DLC, this suicide mission is easier because it's straight up like, oh, somebody needs to do some hacking and it's a vent and Kasumi is a fucking thief. But there's also Tali and Legion, the fucking robot and the person that's from the race that built the robots. Why would you not put them in the fucking vent to do the computer shit? But then you get to split your squad up into multiple teams. You get to choose which of your party members become leaders of those specific squads. And if you've been playing the game that you supposedly love, because the characters are why you play Mass Effect 2. You have Miranda, who is bioengineered to be a leader. You have Jacob, whose whole storyline is about leadership. And then you have Garrus, who also has a storyline about leadership. And I chose Garrus for one of the team leads because I saw it as sort of a redemption. The team he led was all murdered, was all killed. So I figured, oh, it would be this is like thematically appropriate for you to lead an actual squad in the moment. Unfortunately, Mass Effect 2 doesn't like really call that out or anything like that. That's just headcanon that I have to have. But again, like you put the people in charge that are all about leading. And then there's like the biotic stuff. Like they have to create a biotic field because you're like being attacked by all these tiny little creatures. So they're putting up a force field. You got Jack and you got Samara. They're fucking mages. They're biotic mages. Miranda too, she's also like a bot. Then you come up to the one part that I think is kind of just bullshit. Mordin is a character who, for some reason, his coin flip is a lot more even than everybody else's, especially even if you get the loyalty mission. He is the most likely character to die, like I think between him and Tali. On my first playthrough, I sent him away with the team to escort. And if you do that, that character is just safe. I did that because he was the doctor. That was just my thinking. I'm like, he's a doctor, he heals people, so if any of them are hurt. But that is straight up bullshit. That's like the one safe position you can have, and I accidentally chose the least safe person, therefore like ensuring that nobody died on my run. I will grant you, Morden is most likely to die for no fucking reason. Going back to earlier, I just looked it up. Miranda, not a good choice for their biotic field thing, but again, I said she was a better choice for the leadership thing, and Jack and Samara are the straight up fucking mages. So after most of the choices are made, you get to the final boss, and the final boss fucking sucks. Especially when you compare it to the original Mass Effect, where you can straight up just tell Saren that he's a little bitch, and then he'll just do that. I mean, you still have to fight his corpse, but that's like a very cool moment where you get to talk to him, and your words, which is one of the major game mechanics of the games, your words have an effect on him as a character, and he's also like the best villain this series has ever had, and it sucks that he's only in the first game. But anyway, the boss in Mass Effect 2 sucks, not because it's hard, not because it's difficult, not because he can wipe out your entire party and kill everybody, so when we get to Mass Effect 3 they're all dead. No, he sucks because he's a giant skeleton, and that's a very boring design, and the gameplay is kind of boring. He's just boring. One of the best moments in the original Mass Effect is when you actually speak to a Reaper for the very first time, because throughout the entire game you thought it was just the spaceship of the antagonist Saren, but actually it was in charge of Saren and is an evil fucking entity from space. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? But here, you've already gotten past that. You know the Reapers are an alien race looking to kill you, synthetic robots just trying to kill you. And so here you are, a fucking skeleton. Anyway, this is where you meet your final check. This is also what I was talking about that was bullshit earlier. Morden and Tali are two characters that die based on a coin flip. Everybody else is absolutely fine if they're like in that final area doing the final push while you and like two party members are fighting the final boss. But those two characters will just randomly die. That's bullshit, because there's nothing in the game that tells you that the only safe option is to either take both of them in the party or send one of them back with the other crew members. Instead, it's just randomly, one of them will die. That's bullshit. I will grant you that. However, again, I was lucky. I liked Tali a lot, so I took her everywhere. And Morden I sent back. So my first playthrough was absolutely fine. And then you beat the boss, and I think Shepard can die. I can't remember what the rules are for that, but I know Shepard can die, but nobody really complains about that because people think that part's cool. Look at these two. Okay, I'm watching you. You look like you're about to attack him. You sniff his butt. Okay, but he's a sleepy boy, so don't wake him up. Anyway, the suicide mission is really easy as long as you do the loyalty missions and have paid attention to these characters when you were talking to them. And like, again, I do not understand why you would play the game and not do their loyalty missions, because that is the entirety of Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is all about building the team. There's not really a strong narrative like through it. In fact, in my second playthrough of the game, during my evil playthrough, I tried to get as many of my teammates killed as possible, but because I had done the loyalty missions, at best, one person died. No, actually, it might have been two. Like, two people died. And so I'm wondering, how were you guys playing to where the suicide mission was difficult? Or like, how were people losing entire squads without purposely trying to do so? Did you just not like do the loyalty missions? Were you just zooming as fast as you can through the game, just trying to get to the ending? And that's what I'm confused about. Oh, another girl sniffing his butt. Keeps happening. Okay. Anyway, I'm Seth, editor-in-chief of Forbidden Origins Comics, and this was a very mean video of mine.